Hi everyone, this is Miss Salas. Welcome to week 4 of summer school. Woohoo! This is our final week of summer school. I know that it wasn't easy, and I know that many of you guys didn't want to attend, but I just want to tell you how proud Miss McDonald and I are of you guys. Everybody really persevered and really worked hard this whole time. I'm so proud of you for attending Zoom lessons, for going through the up ed puzzles, and for completing all your quizzes by that Thursday deadline. So awesome job to you guys. Okay, moving on to this week. So this week we're going to cover our last type of text or genre, which is a procedural text, or in simpler terms, a how-to text. So these type of texts inform you or your audience how to do or how to make something. When you think about how-to text, it literally tells you how to do something. It's as simple as that. So first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at different procedural slash how-to text. The most common one is a recipe. Of course, a recipe tells you how to make different things such as desserts, food, drinks, salads, and just all kinds of yummy stuff. So that's the most common one. Another example is you can have a procedural text for arts and crafts. The one that I have here is how to make a photo journal, but some other very popular one is like how to make an airplane, how to create a comic strip, how to draw things. Those are some other common ones. Another example are experiments. These are considered procedural texts because they also tell you how to do things, how to make experiments. We also have procedural text or how to for activities. So for in this one, it's telling you how to play a certain game. You could probably also find one on how to play tag, how to play hopscotch, how to play duck duck goose, things like that. We also have procedural text for board games, which tell us how to play the board games. One of the most common board games that we all know is Monopoly. Lastly, our last example is we find them in furniture. So every time our mom, our dad, grandma, and anybody buys a piece of furniture, it comes with instructions or a manual on how to build it. What would we do without it? Obviously, none of us know how to build stuff just from looking at it. So it's very, very important that we receive these. So what are some things that we find in procedural or how-to text? Very first thing that we find is a goal. The goal is what the procedure aims to make or do. So every single one of these things has a goal in the end. For this one, it's how to make slime. You know what your goal is to make a slime. Usually the goal can be found at the title. Now, I want you to take a second and I want you to look through this procedural text and I want you to type below, what is the goal here? Another thing that we find in procedural text is a list of materials or ingredients, which are basically the items needed. Now, I'm going to take a look here at my example one, and I'm going to see that my goal is how to make a banana shake, and then I'm going to look at my ingredients, which are a glass of milk, a banana, an egg, an ice cream, a pitcher, a bowl, a fork, and a glass. So I know that before I try to even make a banana shake, I need to gather all of these things together. Now it's your turn. I want you to take a look at this procedural text on how to make a mango juice, and I want you to identify the materials. Next, of course, if you're doing something a how-to, or if something says you know how to do something, it has to give you the steps in order, and the steps have to be in literally the order that they go in, because if you skip a step or go a step ahead, you're either going to mess up your game, you're going to mess up your recipe, you're going to mess up your arts and crafts. So you have to make sure to follow the steps step by step. So here we have a recipe for applesauce. So I know my goal is to make applesauce, and I have my ingredient list, which is 4 pounds of apples, sugar, cinnamon, water, and can't see what that says. I think hot candy. Okay, now my instructions or directions are down here, which says core and peel the apples, cut them into thin slices, and place them in the crock pot. Mix in all of the ingredients, sugar, cinnamon, water, and red hot candies. Cook in the crockpot on high for about 3 hours. As the apples soften, use a potato masher to mash the apples into an uncooked texture. Serve and enjoy. Now, what would happen was if I didn't follow my steps and I missed step 1 and I didn't peel the apples and I just added the apples with as they come, then clearly my recipe wasn't going to come out the way that it should be. Same thing as if I was building a chair. If I skipped a step, I would miss a screw and so my chair couldn't get built. If I was playing Monopoly and I skipped a step, I wouldn't get as many properties. It's just very important in a how-to to make sure to follow the steps in precise and accurate order. Okay, now here you have your recipe, which is how to make a jam sandwich. That would be our goal. We have our ingredients here, which are bread, a knife, jam, and butter. And then we have our steps, which are down here. I want you to take a look and I want you to answer the question based on these steps. Okay. Now, last but not least, I know that we covered this at the beginning of the PowerPoint, but thinking about everything we just learned about procedural text, I want you to think, what are the purpose of these how-to texts? Are they to entertain us, inform us, or to persuade us? Why would we want to read a how-to text, or why do we read how-to procedural text? What is their main purpose? Take a second and answer it. If you eliminated entertain, you are correct. How-to texts do not entertain us. They are not a story. They are not funny. They are not comical. They do not entertain us in any sort of way. So good job if you exited that out. And good job if you exited out persuade. How-to procedural texts do not persuade us or try to convince us to do anything. They actually inform us on how to do or make something. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to log into Google Classroom. After you have logged into Google Classroom, I want you to complete the procedural text quiz. Now, as you're completing this, I want you to make sure to take your time and use everything you have learned. If you need to read the text 2 or 3 times, that's okay. Some of us need to read it a few more times in order to understand the text better. After you feel like you have read the text well, then you go ahead and finish your quiz, and when you are done, please do not forget to comment when you are done. After you comment, you are done with summer school for the year. Woo! Nice job, guys.